So here's how things are shaking out as we begin our 3-hour coverage of this tournament today. 66 the score to beat and 2 players at that mark. Chen Yu-sung and Lee So-young as the latter starts the tournament very positively again. Kim Ae-rin and Chung Ji-min 2 sharing the runner-up position at the moment. 5 under par. An Sung-yi, Kim So-hee, Park Hyun-kyung, they are tied for 5th at 4 under par. With the 120 player field, we have 39 under par, an additional 33 at even. Chanana went +9 in her opening round, and she has the highest score of the day thus far. Should be a fantastic Friday afternoon. We're grateful that you've decided to join us for the Tucson Construction Weave Championship. We'll take a quick break and be back with more at Teddy Valley. Tucson Construction Week Championship live from Teddy Valley Golf and Resort. As we go again for another week on the island of Jeju. Hung-Jin Shield, disappointing second round for her yesterday. She was unable, not yesterday, excuse me, last week, she was unable to make the cut. She finds herself not so much at the risk of missing again, but definitely a stagnant start to this round, still hovering around that even par mark. Yu Hyun-ju needed that putt to save a par, but she's pulled it to the inside and will be dropping down one. Chance for our red-hot amateur in the red cap and pants to move within three. Does also well converting on that birdie. Tied for 8th position now and still with half a round to play. One on her approach on number 8. That birdie can take her back to even. Hits and sticks within 5 feet or so of the pin. And the bogey confirmed. Just a short 3-footer. Excuse me, a double bogey confirmed. Goes +2 at the turn. Disappointing way to finish out the front 9. We'll be hoping for more success on the Teddy course. Everyone that's come through, only 8 bogeys or higher thus far. It's been a hole where par has been the consistent score, and Pak Bo-Gyeom looking to find just the 11th birdie of the day here. Made this hole look easy. Picks up a little bit of momentum with her second birdie of the front 9. Takes her to a tie for 26th position. Ji also nearing the turn. Both she and G1 are up well. The entire length of the fairway, Kim Min-so, just off left. It is her 4th tournament of the year. Played the Medihil Hangugobo Championship. She finished 60th. Had a brilliant Korea Women's Open Golf Championship where she finished inside the top 5. Just a few weeks ago, Evercollege and last Sienna Queen's Crown, she was 26th in the event. It's not often that we can say Hung Yumin is one of the more experienced members of the group. Age of this trio is 19 years old, which is pretty remarkable. Hung-Jin Shield, the last to drive, also going to go slightly left up on to the hill in the rough. go to 7. It's an unlikely but not impossible birdie. Looks like that putter has stayed red hot from last week. Kazim Genie has her second birdie in the last 3 holes. Moves within 4 with still over 10 holes to play. About a similar distance for Jung Yoon Ji, but she just burns that inside edge. Disappointing tap in par. Bak Jiang is even at number 7. Can change that with one swing of this putter. Just to stay straight. There it's going to go. A little bit of exasperation, but also a sigh of relief. Her third birdie of the round, but finally back under after she had that double very early this morning. And less than 5 feet. Tiny bit of break on this putt to take Hong Ji-won back to even. She tucks that inside the pin. Back to back now as well. And hole number 7, EA1, just above the hole. Didn't start it enough to the inside. Swoops away. Will be settling for a par. Less than 2 months removed from just her 17th birthday, Kim Min-sol. Definitely has all the tools to be a great pro if she ever decides to turn. Can't see why she wouldn't. The power, the driving, decent short game, and the putter's been tagging along and joining in on the fun so far today as well. Needing a 5-iron after the tee shot at 10, Yu Hyun-ju. Fairly long, narrow hole this. Just a little bit of width to the right as the bunkers are split. 21 yards off the front and 8 from the right. Able to find it quite comfortably. That's what Hung Yoo-min is going to try to do at number 9. Just over the sand, up over the hill. Don't have any qualms with that. And all the way to the back, and here comes a nice little roll. Perhaps not as much back towards the pin as Bung Shin-chil would have hoped. But she will be joining her group mates on the green. Chun Ye-sung and Lee So-young, 66s to start this tournament. 67s for Kim Ae-rim and Chung Ji-min too. See Kim Min-sol now at 3 under with Hung Yoo-min, both through the 8th hole, tied for 8th position. Lee So-mi, one of the many, at 2 under with an opening round 70 here at Teddy Valley. Towdy Valley Golf and Resort in pristine conditions for an exciting tournament that, despite not being the full 4 days we were enticed with, should still see plenty of drama, including moments like that as Peng Shiu's putt for birdie hovers over the edge of the hole, but does not have that final revolution, excuse me. An average altitude of just 190 meters above sea level here, which is quite the departure from some of the more northern courses we play on. And Sunju out of a perilous position, and she's going to hole out. An early contender for shot of the day from off the green. And the veteran leaps up the leaderboard with her third birdie since hole number 5, and that one certainly had the most pizzazz out of any of her efforts thus far. So that would have taken her within 2. Tricky line being that shallow on this green. She'll tap in for a par. She has been in some kind of groove the past 8 days. Starting to find some of that early tournament success that was so crucial to her win last week. Little bit short on the approach that time for me. ENG, we'll see what she's able to do when the putter is in her hand, just as it is for Hung Yumin. Coming back left, but carrying far too much speed. No doubt a long week of reflection. Four birdies in the first 9 is the type of golf we are growing to expect from that young woman. Not for a double bogey late in the tournament. Jeju Shi, she might have been in for the second win of her rookie season. After a double bogey of her own, Yu Hyunju at the last. This is to take one of those strokes back, but she can't sort out the line. Settle for a par. Her up at 8. That might have even glanced off the stick. She went right at the pin and was mere millimeters away from a hole out for eagle. Got a flair for the dramatic, doesn't she? Cool vantage point looking down from the tee box. Trying to see we could get an arrival inside of the target zone, but that's well clear of it. Particular effort, again slightly long, slightly left, just out of the fairway. Look out on the golf cart path. Nearly had a traffic accident. Don't even know if the driver knew that they were that close. The ball finally comes to a stop just beside the grass. Relief will be taken. So far, Kim Min-sol of the national golf team is off to a flying start. Should be a fun shootout. On the back nine, here's Chung Yun-ji. She gets up oh so well. Carries a little bit further to her target, about a 6-footer. For a birdie will be next. After a near eagle, Park Ji-young able to go back to back and vaults herself back up into the hunt to 2 under par. Long way out still for EA1. Look at birdie nevertheless. Made a beeline for it. Just fractionally too short. Make sure she's not in Genie's line and finishes off with her par. Genie said she was going to play this tournament without greed, rather than thinking about the title or the championship. I just want to challenge calmly with the idea of piling up one after the other. She certainly piled up a handful. Here on the Valley course, it will take 2. Attention will shift. Back 9 coming up. Visiting Coach Yu on 10. Needs to straighten out. See her caddy gesturing. Get right, ball. One hole into the back nine, Dayan starts with the par. Birdie 3, back-to-back bogeys 5 and 6, all pars the rest of the way, have her at +1. And Sanju lands, and the spin keeps her almost immediately beside her divot with another nice up. Ball starting on the break, actually starts to move less than a second too early. Fades away offline, and Kochiu needs 2 putts. On to 9. G1 awfully close. The late movement takes her away. It's out with the 36, 2 and 4 the bogeys, 6 and 7 her birdies. Now Kim Min-sol in the sand. Pulling up an 8 iron, 141 away. She topped that ball. She's out, but not much better than that. Definitely a bold club choice. Downhill from the sand still, but she'd like a mulligan on that decision. And the putter woes, unfortunately, are continuing for Chung Yoon-ji, who lets another chance at a birdie go by the wayside. So her only pickup was at 7 and 8 pars to go out with a 35. Yumin was also trying to reach into from a much better line, but she's actually gone right. So her shot felt like it was shaking a lot last week. And not in a bad condition, focusing a lot on her preparation. Average 137 out of the rough for Bang Xin-chil. Does that follow through a little longer? Not in admiration, but a little bit of hope. She's going to stay at the front left of the green, not enough to roll through and up towards back middle where she needed to be. 50-degree wedge on 11 for Pak Bo Giam, 102 from the right side of the fairway. She absolutely nailed the club selection and the execution. This for our amateur to set up a par. Has to be close. Just clear the rough before the green. Not as inch close as she'd like to be, but that's definitely a putt she can work with. Trying to keep herself And a tie for 8th with Lee Ju-mi as everyone chases Chen Ye-sung and Lee So-young's 66, which was just 2 off the course record here at Teddy Valley. Picking her way across the hole here, left to right to back again, and she didn't really give herself much of a shot. Being that far off from the green, she's going to have to really rely on that putter to come through. And Sunju just fully misread this green, which is a rarity for her. Definitely striking the ball well with her wedges. Didn't need to putt. The last hole maybe just cooled off a bit too much. More on 10. Here's Bunshin Shield. A long way away. Trying to eat up some yards and make par more of a probability than a possibility. Mm, 80% of the time this season. Putts from 1.2 meters. I've gone to the bottom of the hole. Maybe that takes up to 81% now as we have another make. And now tied for 15th with 2 birdies in the last 3 and 3 on the day for Pak Bogiam. Now par save. Just dives down at the last second. Work our way pretty quick. We've seen a few of those from that side of the green. Pak Jung a little short on her second shot here at 9. High lofted pitch to within 5 feet. Seemed like she just delayed a little bit in her backstroke. Lacking a little bit of confidence and relying a bit too much on hope for that par putt, and it will cost her a stroke. NBA one, just a little chip on 9. Starts to come over. And half of that equation sorted. Just a little slow. And you mean barely touched that ball, just a little nudge. Hole to forget in the grand scheme of it. Second bogey of the day. First since hole number 6. She stays 2 under. She drops to 2 under, I should say. And Sunju again, absolutely lights out with their approach game today. There was a reason. We've only seen 11 birdies here at number 10. Claims a few victims in this group. The young stars are off to hole number 11, looking for better tee shots to start. ENG overcooked that putt by quite some margin. So she will be going down as well. Only 153 meters to go for Pak Bogiam after her drive. She leaps. She lands at the back rise where she wanted to be, but not enough loft to keep it down. Jung able to get up and down and save her par. A 227-meter drive, leaving this 146 approach and a 6-iron for Yu Hyun-ju. Maybe appreciating the fact that this isn't the day where we're going to cut the field in half. Only 4 players have gone higher than her thus far today. And the honor still with our M. Rips that driver. Pretty close to straight as an arrow as it makes its way down. These drone shots are so unbelievable, it looks like a video game. Swing looked better. Does the result match? Yes, it certainly does. Wonderfully struck drive for Hung Yoo-min. Peng Shinshio's not thrilled. She finds the cart path again. She'll have to hope that if she is eligible for fur leaf, and I'm not sure she will be, that she'll be able to get a little bit of separation from that tree directly in front of her. Glancing down at the scorecard, is that in play? Do I need to worry about what's on the other side of that cart path? I think it's certainly playable. It looks as though she's taking a provisional anyways. That actually fares worse than our first one. Off the tree and significantly off to the right. She will be relieved when she sees where the first one ended up, but certainly a developing storyline that we'll watch if that driver is going to misbehave this afternoon. That's a great drive for a great cause. This 10th hole is the Weave Charity Zone. Donation of 500,000 won to the Social Contribution Fund, which this week is going to the underprivileged and the environment, two very worthy causes. And a nice drive and almost an even better approach. we go to 11. Seen this putt a handful of times so far today. It's offline and slightly short. KLPGA went long. Instead, ENG up and past the hole by about 3 meters or so. Pitching wedge at 107. Perched up high with a nice look down to the green. Go to the back and just stay on. Different approach for ENG. She's gone for putter from the fringe. Actually, end up being slightly further than the effort we had just seen from there. And a 52-degree wedge for Hung Yumin, just a little more than 90 meters away from the pin. Spin. Might have wanted to carry a touch further, but definitely a birdie she'll feel like she can make. There's indeed the first shot the Machine Shield had played. Drawn to the cart paths the past few holes. Only 81 meters to go. 2/3 of a swing. A little bit of a left to right action on that putt for her birdie. The serene walk down, water to the left, 3 bunkers surrounding the hole, and the pin at the rear of the green in this first round. On Sunju, downhill putt that she was hoping was online, but 0 for 2 with that club in the last 2 holes. Definitely put herself on the back foot. Sung Eugene would greatly benefit from a few of these mid-range birdies. She's not going to get this one. Disappointing par. Definitely a putt she needed to make. 2 double bogeys in the last 4 holes. Tied for 109th at +4. And KLPGA has her par at number 12. Nice finish to the par 4. Still tied for 14th position. Uphill to the bottom of the cup with a satisfying ting. Celebrating her birdie. Yameen's got to go over the hill and hope she's online as it comes down, which she was until the bitter, bitter end. Late break denies her again. Good response hole where she'll feel like she should have had that birdie. She was awfully close. Last week, the second and third rounds especially, she was making those putts like they were nothing. And you mean certainly increasing her lead atop the rookie list after another brilliant tournament. Nearly 200 points clear of Kim Biel now. And Kim Sol, after relinquishing that 3 under score, trying to take it right back. Plenty of pace. In fact, maybe just a little bit too much of it. Imchini missing the fairway with her tee shot. 155 and a 5-iron at 10. Asking for the ball to get up, carry onto the green, which it does only just. That's where Pengxin Shil had arrived at the green at as well. Here she is playing her putt at 11. Didn't strike that with the speed it needed. She now trails Hung Yimeen by 555 points, the third best rookie of the 2023 season up to this point. And she missed a 2-footer for par as well. Compounds a mistake with another, and considering she just missed from that distance, she needs to mark and reset. Go back to 10. .146, close to the exact center of this fairway. And Park Jung's approach is short, destined for a detour to the sand trap. Kim Min-sul trying to avoid what Pengxin Shil struggled with. That is just a few feet for a par, but she is able to minimize and prevent some damage. One from just inside of 150 meters. Go back left and run the length of this green. And the bogey. Few too many of these in this round. 2 bogeys now back to back, and that double, which is acting as quite the anchor to her scorecard. Reaching back for a little bit of extra power. Does she sacrifice the accuracy? No. Work out quite nicely. Up out of the fairway at number 12. I can tell our television director this afternoon is enjoying his new toy, being that drone. And why not? Very cool perspective. And is going to use every available meter of width on this fairway, but she's going to stop in it. Left side of the target. And that's miles better. Feng Xinqiu, no risk of the cart path on this one, as she looks to respond to a bogey. And checking in with Chung Yun Ji. Another tee shot that just stopped in the fairway. It was left though, as is this approach. Not going to get up the hill. And now Pak Jiyoung from the sand. Big blast and a pitch. Expertly played. From a less than ideal circumstance. She is mind-bending good at that situation. And Sung Eugene also needing a few birdies down the stretch here to get her closer to even. I have a feeling that a round +2 will be our cut tomorrow. She gets up. We'll see if she can get back down. It's a formidable effort. Just slows up at the last second. Be a tap in par. Much better this for EA1. Ginny had a lot of ground to cover. That was her birdie putt. Still going to be a challenging shot to avoid a bogey. Coach Yu able to ensure that the damage is just one stroke to her total. First bogey of the day coming at hole number 12. She's tied for 73rd at +1. Park Jung still leads the money and points lists this 2023 season. Maybe she used up a bit too much of that luck a couple of holes ago. Surrenders the birdie she made at 8. She is returned to a 1 under score. G1 couldn't get on the green in 2 strokes. She needs a third and doesn't put that particularly close. But the easiest lie in her defense from that part of the rough. Tap to get it started downhill. Lindy Genie is going to bogey here. First square on her scorecard comes at hole number 10 that claims another victim. We shall see what Jung Yoon-ji has in store at 11. Break should be fairly early here. Here it comes. Definitely early and definitely taking her away. .45 and a 7-iron down the hill at 12. Needing to be sort of middle right towards that first bunker off the back. Say she sorted that out just fine. Soul would happily take that result. 129 and an 8 for her. She is just into the second cut before the rough. Big bounce and she will end up on the fringe. Sung Eugene trying to get one back in unlikely fashion. Was always going to move in that direction. She couldn't really pull that back across onto line. Remains on pace for 75 in this first round. Surprised to see her with the longest drive of the lot. Can't really do anything with it though. Into par save territory. Hung Ji-won will go first, but pulls it. And we start 0 for 1. First time she drops a stroke since hole number 4. And that will move her further back of our leaders Chun Ye-sung and Lee So-young, still looking like a very cozy top of the leaderboard with the closest challenger who's not yet finished their round, the amateur Kim Min-sol at 3 under, as is Hung Yoo-min. Should mention Peng Min-ji in her return to the KLPGA Tour of Korea this week shot an even par 72 in the first round. She's tied for 41st position. 3:16 local time on Cheju and Sogui-Boshi. We'll step aside and be back with more in just a few minutes. Wonderful to have you aboard with us for this delayed opening round of the Tucson Weave Championship. Fortunately, wonderful, not the adjective used to describe that bogey for Hung Yu Min as we go to 11. It's an 8-iron for Aim Genie. She is not quite off to the torrid start that she was last week, but that could go a long way in trying to change that. Great weight and navigated the wind well to boot. And the tee shot on the very long 517-meter par 5 from Ki Min Sol. She's gone well right towards the rope, separating the rough and the cart path. Not the most treacherous length of the third cut there. Not ideal either. It means starting to itch for a birdie. She launches this downhill and almost into the exact same spot as Ki Min Sol. Definitely be a bit of a tricky drive. Slight draw here is your friend. 8 shots off the pace by Machine Shield now. Has found a ton of consistency with driver today, and she's not really looking forward to seeing where this ends up. And yet she has the only drive in the fairway. Body language. Maybe it's a reflection of how the day has gone and not what she thought that shot would do. She is the only one away well and in the fairway in regulation. Onto the green, but not as deep as would be ideal. Skips in. Manageable putt for birdie. Good effort from Pak Bogyam. And approach time on 13. This is Coach Yu. Right on the border at the front left. She went at it. Deserves to be commended for it. Five wood out of the rough. Sol is not back in the fairway, but took a good chunk out of the remaining yardage on this par 5. She cut that really thick, you mean about a foot before the ball and barely going to reach the end of the first fairway. And a much less dramatic second shot. That's what happens when your drive finds the fairway. Good things can happen. Haven't seen a ton from Idayan since that earlier bogey. It's a chance for a birdie on 13. Tight line. She navigates it with precision. Her first birdie's in just the third hole of the day and gets closer to even par. Approach at 12, carries the sand, and not going to stay up. Coach Yu from the border of the rough, but she launched that ball. Unfortunately, unable to make good on a good approach. Run without a birdie continues, unfortunately, for Yu Yunju. Nicely done, though, for Coach Yu to make sure that she didn't go back to the opposite side of that cup. Saves par. Couldn't ask for any more on that line. Just didn't get the speed to match it. This is where she wanted to be for shot number 2. And Ang Yumin is going to be able to roll that onto the green. So that is what will be the task for her birdie putt. Much better second shot after scuffing her second. Having missed our target the first two holes, or the first two shots of the hole, excuse me. Much better from the 17-year-olds. Be an improbable way to end a run without a birdie, but Jung Yoon-ji has made these putts before, just not today. She's had the much less eventful and methodical par 5 thus far, and she's due for one. Group mates were starting to create some serious separation with her. G1, that was her chance to get back to even. That was going to be a tricky one. The lead remains unchallenged. Two players currently tied at 6 under. Kim Ae-rim, Chung Ji-min 2. They're 67s, have them tied for third. An Sung-hee, Kim So-hee, and Park Young-kyung all at 4 under par with 8 at 3 under, including a handful still with 5 or so holes to play. Stick with us, more from Teddy Valley on the other side of this quick break. Back for more as our opening round of the DOOSAN Construction Weave Championship rolls along. Sogui Yamin's got a chance here when she really has no business at it. What a putt that is. She can hardly believe it. Right to left, left to right, and straight at the bitter end. Finally back in the birdie column after 4 holes away. Goes to 3 back with one of the putts of the day thus far. Jeannie, a quiet 2-under round in progress. She plays her second on 12. Just about 150 meters, going with the 6-iron. Going to be well to the back, in the middle, and she is both of those things. Pin high with a great look at a birdie. A 189-meter second shot, leaving her with an approach of about 90 meters to the front right of this par 5 15th. Brilliant. She'll absolutely take that. And a downhill putt for birdie. Kim Min-seo has pulled it. Keeps herself at 2 under. Bogeyam goes the deepest of the group, but 3 more than decent approaches. Chill, after making this hole look rather simple, bobbles at the end in her quest for birdie. Two tee shots stuck on the front right, one in line but not quite up the hill to the back rise. It is a gorgeous Friday afternoon in Sogui. Much calmer day after the typhoon rolled through earlier in the week, and our wild winds yesterday that forced the postponement. 28 degrees and sunny with less than 3 meters per second right now on the wind speed. She's not quite on the front page of the leaderboard, but that improbable birdie at the last has hung Yamin back to within 3 strokes, tied with Ijomi, Jone, and Kim Ji-soo on pace for a 69 in this first round of the DOOSAN Construction Weave Championship. Genie almost a dead straight putt for birdie. Little right to left movement to it as she splits the ball markers of her group mate and now has back-to-back birdies, up to 4 on the day. So she joins Hung Yumin at 3 under. Bogyam nearly into a tie for the 3rd best score of the day, but just runs out of juice at the very end. A little too much on the backswing that time. No improvement for Coach Yu after this hole. Yu Yenju needs a few of these in the final 4 greens. She is 5 over par. Here comes back right, but it's on line. That one will feel good. Tied for 106th now, but still with 2 birdies and a couple of doubles on the day. Struggling for a bit of consistency, but still time to put together a nice little run to end the day. And Park Ji-young, simple finish. Chung Yun-ji, middle of the fairway. Here on 13. Even par is tied for 41st. Some notable names on that list. Nice tee shot to set that up. We'll see if she can convert next. That's been the missing piece for her on the day. Five to go. Pang Xin-chiu's tee shot on the par 3 is also in that front right spot, which has been quite a popular area to play this tee shot to. Starting the long way down. Straightening out, but not before it runs out of its speed. Nothing gained here. Another hole in the books. good setup shot as Jung Yoon-ji tries to get up and down for a birdie here on the par 5. Tiny tap to get it started, and that is going to be a big relief. Just her second birdie of the day, 7 and 13. She goes to 1 under. The later we get in the day, the more it looks like those 66 will be untouchable. We will see if Hung Yumin or any of our other challengers, Bakbo Gyam, Kwon So-yan also can touch it. Im Jini, can't forget about her, last week's champion. So we are on the second straight week here on Jeju. The dry spell in terms of the birdies will roll on one more hole. Kim Min-sol, though you can't really fault her. That was a long putt back. It is just about going to roll through the rough, but stays hung up on the fringe. Will be the first to finish. Peng Xin also just leaves it a little bit short. Not as much of a scorching hot start to this tournament, but hanging around. Just, and only just, onto the front of the green. Pin high is good. Rough is not ideal. Gonna have to quickly get that pitch down past the fringe. It'll be a test of short game skill as we move along to 16. 3 holes to go for Pak Bo-Giem to make one last push in this first round. Really tricky pin placement in this first round, as anything beyond leaves a downhill putt. Final 4. Here's on your mean. Unfortunate kick. She neared that sprinkler head and will settle in the rough. So with a near perfect drive. Can't strike it much better than that. Gene Shields scoots along. Frustrating thing for her today has been when the driver's working, the putters let her down. But yet when she is struggling with the driver, often she's been able to make up for it, but hasn't really been able to put all of them together yet on the same hole. On 14. Better than the group that had just come through, but good perspective to show you how that pin is kind of in a little bowl today, tough to get at. Was coming back online, but a little bit more power to give it a chance. So Yedayan's going to have to settle for a par. Next up is Hong Ji-won. She went at it. That's a good tee shot. Only 9 birdies here today. Most of the field having come through. Coach Yu, she's going to putt this from the border of the green. Nothing doing. She'll carry that score one more. So it is par. Just starting to cool down a little bit here at Teddy Valley. 27 degrees, 4 p.m. local time. Let's see if she can hit this hybrid as true as the drive. She'll have no complaints there to the very end of the fairway, but still in it. Last little stretch of width. Same for Hung Min. You can see she is just into the rough. Nice recovery. We also just had a birdie on the 15th green based on that roar of approval. Park Jung trying to hole out again from off the green. She's already done it once today. Nearly had another. She'll get up and down for her par. To play her second shot is Peng Xin-Shiel. Went for iron, and she lost the handle on it. Until she was trying to reach and make up a stroke. But now she's in a situation where par is a good result. Touch to get it started. Imjini from just inside the fringe, and she goes to 4 under within 2, tied for 5th. And don't look now, but that is 3 birdies in a row. That quote from her about not trying to be greedy this week No doubt the thought's going to inch into her mind if she keeps it up with the putter, as she has been doing. Bogey, I'm trying to go with her to 4 under. Valiant try, but was always asking a lot out of that putt. Checking now with the A1 at 13. Similar type of putt, just a little bit longer than what we had just seen from ENG. Too much bend. Goes left of target, and a 2-putt par for her as well. As has been the story of her round, 13 holes in the books and 13 even par results. 5 to play. Soul going at the pin. Backspin will keep it in line. A little bit deeper, but it's a fairly straight putt, which is not the case for Chung Yun-ji. Had all kinds of movement to it. Good try, but not going to impact the scorecard. Means next. See if she still has some of that unbelievable control we saw so much last week. Yeah, I'd say some of it stuck around. 4 feet for birdie. She can go to 4 under as well. And last but not least, Peng Shin-chil. You can see just how much of a risk it is to try and reach into that little bit of fairway. Runway is so narrow. Couldn't get that to bite. It's unfortunate. Absolutely stunning backdrop. Zimgini, can she go 4 for 4? It's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough. But until we see it, we have to say the possibility still exists. So 2 new names tied for 5th. Perhaps if Hung Yoo-min can make her birdie here. Kim Min-sun's 7 is also gone there on her second to last hole. There is Im Gini. And at the bottom, there is Hung Yoo-min. We'll see how much longer that score stays the same. 120 players competing for a purse of $1.2 billion won this week in the inaugural Tucson Construction Weave Championship. firmly into our third hour, the opening round of the DOOSAN ENC Weep Championship from Teddy Valley Golf and Resort, a 6,100 meter par 72 36 hole affair, about as south as you can get in the Republic of Korea. Of our final few groups moseying their way across the course, and a couple of familiar faces making a push, and one not quite familiar face just yet. That is, of course, Amber Kim Min-sol looking at a birdie and just about getting it. She had a line, a little bit too much speed as it goes 270 degrees around the hole and juts out. Genie, this would be quite the remarkable way to continue the birdie run. She just about had it too. I laughed because nobody else would even really think they had a shot, but she was very much on. Bogeyam on the tee shot at 17, the second to last hole and the final par 3 of the round. Shield just pushing that right. Good try. Settling for par. Another decent effort, but just short. We get a pin placement at the front of the green tomorrow. We'll see way more birdies here. Nicely played. She is able to capitalize on it. That is now 6 birdies on the day to go along with 2 bogeys and within 2 strokes of the lead yet again. Next approach here stays to the right side of the green, which is the right side to be on, just a little bit deep. You see Park Ji-young confirm her par. First aerial tour of the day is 16. 370 meter par 4. Thus far today has produced some good scores. 210 meters from the tee is the front of the right-sided fairway bunker. Further down the hole, 2 sand traps defending the green. That is 42 meters in length. Pin placement today just off the front of it, 8 from the front and 5 from its right side. Just a 2-meter rise in elevation from the teeing ground. Sides of the course mixed up. 10 meters down from the teeing block is the green here. Definitely not a hole you want to go long on with the trees just around the back. It's been another fairly tricky hole, averaging a score of 4.14 strokes. Kim Min-sol next to drive and finds the middle of the fairway. Last but not least.
Pull.
For another occasion today, she has found the cart path. Drawn to it like a moth to a flame, hits the golf cart.
Oh.
14 birdies here today, 5 doubles or more. Can be punishing. And back to 17. Yoo Hyun-ju +6 now. Difficult day at the office continues. Some kind of miraculous bounce back tomorrow to avoid missing the cut. Is one of our Weave sponsored athletes, and you know, of course, there's a little bit extra pressure. Wants to perform well for sponsors this week. Lee Dae-yeon nearly able to get back to even on 16 from a putt from off the green. Jung Yoon-ji downhill on 15. She tries to get to 2 under, but never really started to get back to the left until the very end. At it here, 7-iron, 132. Haven't seen anybody today go longer than the midpoint of this green. That trend will roll on. In terms of the depth, right where she wants to be. Definitely left of center though. It's just on, but not by very much. Brilliantly struck. Needed one of those. See if she can get the final piece to complement it, which of course has been puttered today. Started right and never really came back for Buck Bogyam. You mean as she gets that birdie at the last, moves on to the first page of the leaderboard. Level with Kimin Sun 7 and Im Genie, all with the time to get to the top spot on the leaderboard at 6 under, but needing some more birdies down the stretch. We gaze down to Halasan, the tallest peak in the country, on the horizon. On the horizon, the end of this opening round of the Tucson Weave Championship. We'll have more from Teddy Valley in just a few minutes. Nothing like a little friendly competition to begin the week. Sol just about gets it there. Going to have to settle for a par here. Is handled the pressure that can come from playing with Yumin very well. Maybe picking up a trick or two to add to her ever-developing arsenal. Hidayaan on the long way back, uphill and a right to left putt, looking for birdie. Oh, so close. A 130 on the nose. This is Yu Hyun-ju. One last chance to make up some ground today, but unfortunately he's going to send that deep. Sat perched above the pin. Bit of a tailwind as well, giving a final push. (16) and Jung Yoon-ji. Low ball flight on this. She's going to roll on. Stop just before the hill. And Imjini on 15. Trying to set up an up and down that would take her to within 1. Backspin's going to help. Certainly no guarantee. A formidable attempt, but unfortunately for Ensunju, it just rolls wide. She played some really good golf today from off the green. Hoping the putter is able to find that same success tomorrow. But Jiang, seen a few of those putts straighten out at the end, but maybe just with a bit too much speed to make good on it. But Bogyam, she had that one final chance, but unfortunately no third birdie on the back nine. Still a very good day, 3 under, tied for 11th as she exits and finishes this first round. Nothing gained for Imjini. Try again with a few holes still to play. Bangshin Shio. To loft this and be very careful with where she lands it. That was close to the perfect spot. That's left for par. Putter has been her Achilles heel today, though. We'll be interested to see how that pans out. Speaking of Achilles heel, that's a bit of a bummer at the end. Could have gone to +5, but it looks like it'll be a 78 in this first round as the dust settles. It's a lengthy attempt. Ended up being just a bit too much to ask. Sunju, end of her day. 3 birdies, the 1 bogey at 14, tied for 19th with a 70 in the opening round. And inching ever closer. Slightly left. That will deny a birdie for our amateur. Frustrating day at the office. 2 birdies, 3 double bogeys, and a couple of bogeys as well. 116th at the end of the day. And Bangshin Shio needing this to save a par. Great putt. She is 8 back. Focus is going to have to very quickly shift to trying to make the cut. Still only 2 birdies today. Long backswing as this is going to need the speed to reach. Tiptoeing closer. That was always going to be the result, wasn't it? Going to take a minor miracle to get all the way there. And now a tricky one for Hung Yumin to save her par, starting this about 2 feet to our right at the hole. There it goes. One more to play. And the birdie will give her a share of the second best score of the day. This is where the group is headed. Lee Dae-yeon playing her second. 9-iron, 121 meters back. Gets the carry to the backside of the green, just about pin high and little ways away to the right. The day and the tournament will end on this 339-meter par 4 18th. Creek separating the two bits of fairway 230. It's the end of the bunker on the right side. From the in-play point, which is just about level with the team ground, there is an uphill approach to the green with 5 bunkers to the right, 1 to the left. And the pin today in the opening round, 13 yards from the back, 6 from the left. Nestled in between those 2 downhill slopes, changes of elevation. Fairly flat in that main area where the pin is today. You mean drives first, but you sent that left. Where is this going to go? That is why the word 4 was invented. And those golf carts are going to need to be moved. Could have been a heck of a lot worse. Not ideal by any stretch. It is a hole that's averaging birdie today. Very solid drive in terms of the length. It's not all that narrow of a fairway. It's a bit surprising to see so many having missed the in-play point today. So the last shout for a fairway in regulation is Bangshin Shil. Lovely little fade and the best drive of the lot. She is the player that likely needs the birdie the most. And all smiles as she begins the walk down to her approach shot. And this is where they're headed. This is the complexity when you are short on the approach. Coach you to about a 6-foot putt for par. We go to 16. The approach for ENG, 5-iron, buck 41. Headed right and will just about roll back on. Lee Dae-yeon, a right to left putt, coming back, but with too much speed, didn't really give herself a chance. She holds that, and she'll have a 73 in the opening round. Not a bad prize for a hole-in-one. A gorgeous Lexus. Keys won't be handed over with this group, but it is still a respectable tee shot. Here's Pak Jiang. This is a very, very tight line. It's going to go left. Excuse me, Cheonu. It's going to go left very quick. Oh, she navigates that perfectly. Two birdies today, 5 and 18, a bogey at number 2, and it's an opening round score of 71. And Chung Yunji with a 5-iron. Well, she's going for it. Tough to find many takers who want to roll the dice by being a little bit short intentionally. To save a par, bitter way to end the round. A bogey to take her down one more. She almost missed that too, to be fair. Tied for 98th after 11 straight pars to start the round. 4 birdies on the way in with a birdie at, 4 bogeys on the way in with a birdie on 17. Day on cards is 73. It's tied for 71st. Bogeys 5, 6, and 11, and 1 birdie on each of the front and back nines. We return to Siem Genie on 16. I don't know that this is going to have the speed. She wouldn't have done better than that with a pitching wedge. She'll take that for sure. Well, this is about 2/3 covered. Really precise as she picks this out. 7-iron is her club of choice, 116 meters. To get to the back, 3/4 of a swing. That's way too much, and that's about what you can expect with a lie like that. Unforgiving is an understatement. Inside of 100 meters, Punching Shield. We get a healthy bit of backspin and advances about 3 feet past where she landed. And this is less than ideal for Hung Yumin, to put it mildly. bugs, drones, and branches. 85 meters and changing her mind on the club. That's a really good perspective. Can't really cheat it, and of course, wanting to avoid those sand traps. How courageous. How much does she want to risk? She catches the limb on the backswing and off the rake into the sand. Didn't really have much of an angle at all. Nice initiative by the tournament and the tour. All of the proceeds from the ticket sales from our gallery this week going to the same social contribution zone that the targets on 9 and 10 are gone to, and ticket price is the same for every round this weekend, today through Sunday. Oh, Eugenie pops that back out and will be bogeying the 16th. She will descend to 3 under par, second bogey on the back 9. She is fairly close to the lip of this bunker, but some leeway here with a wide green as she digs her heels in. And down she comes with precision. That is a sensational sand shot. Could have gone a heck of a lot worse than that, or she would have been scrapping and clawing for a par, but instead she'll just have a tap in. Back to 17, Chun Yun Ji to get to 2 under par. Tricky putt with a lot of break and downhill. Really nice try. She has her par. On pace for a 71, depending on how 18 will go. Kim Min So from off the back floats it up and sit. Oh boy. Worst case scenario. That will be her putt for par. G1 the next to try for birdie. Just about. Still on pace for a 72. Even a respectable score. Some bona fide superstars carded 72s in their opening rounds, and Tong Ji-won might be adding her name to that list. A simple tap in for Hung Yoo-min, who starts this tournament off really well, just as she had done last week in Jeju. Tied for 6th. 6 birdies, 2 bogeys in the opening round. Some shot. Bogey seems inevitable. Now she shifts her focus to making sure that it is just 1 stroke lost. Definitely needed that little extra speed to make sure she reached. Rolls about 1.5 meters past her target. Joins the queue and we'll wait her turn. Six iron for Genie. Tries to go a little bit short. These firm greens playing super quick today, and that will bounce and roll all the way to the back right. Last chance at a birdie on 18 for our featured group belongs to the rookie Bung-Shin Chil. Not going to be able to convert. So flashbacks to how her Friday went last week. Double bogey, 2 bogeys, 2 birdies, and a 74 in the opening round. Final preparations for what she will hope will be her final shot of the day. This for a bogey. Enough break to be cruel. But she is able to minimize the damage. 2 bogeys on the back 9, an eagle and a birdie on the front. And the low amateur ends up with 71 in the first round. Taking you through the round highlights before we sign off for the day, we start on hole number 7. One of the many that teed off on hole number 10 today, and that birdie would take her to the 600 score that she would sustain for the day, and a lead that would be sustained for most of the day as well. Third birdie to go along with an eagle as well, and she was absolutely ascending the leaderboard. This on the 16th hole of the day. Simple roll in to move to 4 under par. Always appreciate these highlights because for the most part we don't see what the early groups do on our side of the broadcast. Big putt to start the back 9 for Bung Min Ji. Back-to-back birdies brought her back to even. Her return to the LPGA Tour of Korea after an event in France with the LPGA Tour and some time off just to take a break, give her body a rest. This is one of the best approaches of the day. The two putts, excuse me, just the one putt for another pickup up to 6 under. That would take her. Just before her birdie here, we see this bear make 4 birdies in a row that run for Lee So-young, up to 5 under at that point. And then on 3 players at this point, tied for the lead. That wouldn't last for very long. Gorgeous little Taylor on that. And a downhill tap for a birdie that would move her to 6 under, a lead she would have sole possession of for not the longest stretch, because there would be plenty of players pushing the score, pushing towards the top. 3 straight birdies and this nice little run as well. This was Kim Min-sol's eagle on the front 9 on hole number 4. Rocket up. Trying to suppress the smile, but she's more than entitled to let that sneak out. Hung Yumin, her approach shot from the fairway. Brilliant. Little side kick and then zipping to a stop and converting on it. 3 straight birdies in that tidy little run early in the round. This on 9. One final hole on the day and one final birdie. Just sneaking that inside. Brilliant day for Lee So-young, including 5 birdies on the way in for 31. 66 would be 2 off of a course record here at Teddy Valley. One of the most dramatic putts of the day for me. Changes direction 3 times. Nice pickup for Hung Yumin at that point. Zim Genie from just inside the fringe. Fist raised in the air in celebration. This was a run of 3 from 3. We go to 50. 44-meter approach that usually leaves 5.2 meters. Just flip that order around, 2.5 on this birdie putt and a good conversion. Unfortunately for Hung Yumin, no final birdies from there to really push, but does find herself on page 1 of the leaderboard with a 68, with Kim So-hee and An Sung-hee. Kim Min-sun 7, Jung Ji-min 2, Kim Ae-rim all at 5 under par. Park Young-kyung also with a 68 in the first round. Tied for 10th at 3 under 69s. That includes Im Jini now, who is on her final hole of the day. No Sung-hee the same, but on the Valley course. So Yeon Jung threw 14 on the Valley course and 3 back. Jae Ae-rim leads the list of players tied at 19 under par with rounds of 70. Lee Jung-eun 5. Kim Chae-hee and Lee Seung-yeon also in that pack, tied for 19th. There is Kim Min-sol. The amateur posts a 71 in the opening round. But everyone will be chasing our co-leaders, Chun Ye-sung and Lee So-young, who carded 66s in the opening round. That's it for us today. We appreciate you having joined us, and we appreciate your patience after we had to cancel the opening round yesterday with strong winds. Much better weather today, and good weather once again in the forecast for us tomorrow. Mostly clear with a few clouds in the afternoon. But the story will be the moving day round on Saturday. 1 hour earlier our start time, so we hope you are able to join us from 1 p.m. local time as our coverage of the inaugural Tucson ENC Weed Championship will pick up tomorrow, as we have 120 players in the field for a $1.2 billion one purse, and of course the bragging rights of being the first champion one for the history books, I'm sure. For SBS Golf Cruise and the Spock team, I've been Adam Jenkins, thanking you for joining us. We look forward to having you back tomorrow for more from Teddy Valley. Have a great rest of your Friday, everybody.